What's going on, guys? So in today's video we are going to talk about 4 reasons why the Flashpoint movie is a bad idea. But guys, if you are liking the content on this channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content, especially the second part of this video. Moving on, number 4 on this list is it's just too early for the Flashpoint movie. I think we all know why they're doing this Flashpoint movie so early, and that is to fix the Ben Affleck problem by switching him with another actor and just using the crazy storyline that is Flashpoint to kinda try to make it make sense. But in the end, will it be worth it? I don't think so. I think you use this kind of storyline not to fix a little Batman problem, but to fix a universal problem. And some people could be like, well, this is actually the perfect time to do that because there's a lot of stuff wrong with the DCEU, so let's just all fix it now. And I'm not gonna argue against that because I do think that is a good idea. I think you use Flashpoint as a way to continue on your universe opposed to having to recast everybody and just rebooting and starting over like nothing ever happened. You could use Flashpoint and basically create a whole new timeline, so everything you did in the previous universe, which is the current DCEU, would still be intact, but there would be this new timeline with new faces, and you could just use Flashpoint that way. Now, I will say that it won't make sense if you're trying to go strictly by the comic books, because the comic books just reboots the previous timeline or sets it back to the regular timeline, so that would be an issue, but it still is a big crazy event that could make sense going into another phase when you want to just, you know, recast a whole bunch of people. Number 3 on this list is no character development, and what I mean by that is we don't really know anything about Barry Allen, aka the Flash, in the DCEU. We have his cameo in Suicide Squad, and we have everything that we saw in Justice League, and in Justice League we didn't really learn that much about him. On top of that, we don't even know if the Reverse Flash even exists in this universe yet. Those are 2 people that are very, very important to the Flashpoint storyline, and we don't even know anything about them. Let me go ahead and break it down why it's an issue that there hasn't been any character development, because I know some people are out there like, I already know about Flashpoint, I know about the Reverse Flash, this isn't an issue, why are we talking about it? It's not so much for comic book fans, it's so much for the general audience that doesn't really know much about these characters. They basically just go by whatever is in the DCE universe, and nothing else matters. Not the TV show, not the comic books, it's just about the movie universe. So with that frame of mind, they don't really know much about Barry Allen. How did he get his powers exactly? How well does he really know how to use his powers? What's going on with his city? Because they didn't even really talk about that in Justice League. And what exactly happened with his dad, and why is he in prison? Those are some pretty big questions to be answered that would need to be answered in the Flashpoint movie. The biggest question out of all of those is what happened on the night his dad got arrested. Did he see a red and yellow blur in the crime scene, and that's why he thinks his dad didn't do it? Because if Barry didn't see anything crazy like that happen the night his mother died, how does he know what to look for? How is he going to come across the Reverse Flash? Is the Reverse Flash just going to come out of nowhere and try to kill him? Like, there's like a lot of questions here that we're going to have to answer in the movie along with the Flashpoint storyline. This movie's going to be dead on arrival unless they come up with a creative way to answer all of those questions, and also if they're going to still try to fit it in 2 hours like they did with Justice League, which I think was a big mistake, this is going to be a disaster. Number 2 kind of goes hand in hand with number 3, and that is you're not going to care about this story. Again, this is for the general audience because I think people that know about the Flash will be able to care about this movie because you're able to fill in the holes in your brain, but other people are going to be like, no, that didn't make any sense, I don't get what's going on here. And also, there's so much in the Flashpoint storyline itself that I think people are going to be so confused without having that extra information like I talked about in number 3, that they're just going to be trying to put puzzle pieces together the whole time. The reason why I don't think people are going to care about Flashpoint is because it's such a deep story that goes along with everything that's happened in the comics. You can even go back with everything that happened in the TV show. You had this story of Barry Allen missing his mother, but one day he just snaps and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and he goes back and he saves his mom, ultimately changing everything else that he knows about. He loses his powers, he loses all of his friends, there's a war going on in the world, and ultimately it comes down to him to fix everything and putting it back in its place. He has to allow his worst enemy to kill his mother to set time back. That is a crazy, deep, emotional story, and I don't think you're going to be able to get all of that in 2 hours if, you know, the general audience is still trying to figure out, like, okay, so he got his powers that way, and his dad didn't commit the murder, and this, and you're trying to put all of that together when at the same time you have Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all these people fighting on screen. I think the general audience is going to get hella confused by everything that's going on if there's no development of these characters. The relationship between the Flash and his mother is huge, and I think they need to showcase that before they go into Flashpoint. Can you do that before all the craziness of Flashpoint Flashpoint happens. Yes, you can show that he loves his mother in the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, but then again, like I said, you have to introduce, like, does he know about time travel? How does a reverse flash factor into this? Like, you need to do all of those other questions before you can even start the Flashpoint storyline, and I just don't see that happening in 2 or 2.5 hours. And the number one reason why I think the Flashpoint movie is a bad idea is because you are ruining a great story. I just mentioned a whole lot about the Flashpoint storyline in the number 2 selection, but there's so much more that goes on in this story. You have this crazy storyline between Atlanteans and Amazons with Aquaman and Wonder Woman at the forefront of this battle. And might I add, Wonder Woman cuts off Mira's head and wears her crown, which is awesome. You have a Superman that has never seen the light of day, so he's super skinny. He doesn't know that he can trust people. He's just been a lab experiment since he landed on Earth. You have a Batman that is Thomas Wayne and a Joker that is Martha Wayne because Bruce Wayne died in the alley that night instead of the parents. And that storyline, man, if you have not read the Batman part of Flashpoint, with just that storyline alone, that storyline is crazy. Martha Wayne's Joker, who doesn't have a long run in the comics, she lives up to the Joker name very quickly and very brutally. And on top of all of that, like I said, you have the decision that Barry Allen has to make to save his mom or put the world back to the way it is. And I think it's just a great storyline, and I don't think they can do that right now in the DCEU. I think they should just wait one movie. You just need one solo Flash movie, and then you can do Flashpoint, and I think that would be the perfect time to do it. Or if you want to push it off to the trilogy, that makes even more sense. But I think that right now, you would ruin the story of Flashpoint, and I think they are just doing it to fix their Batman problem and maybe to retcon some other stuff, but I think that it would just be, you would ruin the story by making it the first Flash movie. There you have it, guys. 4 reasons why I think the Flashpoint movie is a bad idea. Now, like I said, make sure you stick around on this channel because the next video that I upload will be 4 reasons why I think the Flashpoint movie is a good idea. That's gonna be it for me, ladies and gents. If you haven't checked out any of my latest content, like the latest rumor mail, definitely do check those videos out on the screen for you. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I'm a daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bam!